but most of them have been using it all their life. Like the woman with the issue of blood, she had the issue of blood for 12 years. I met a man who told me that he had been disabled most of his life, 50 years. He was in his 80s. The Lord led me to pray for him. Next time I was at the store, this old man comes running across the parking lot. I didn't recognize him at first because when I first saw him, he was like this. But he came running across the parking lot. He said, I don't even need my cane anymore. I mean, God has us in places for His service. And if it's not in us before we get to Walmart or before we get to work, it's not going to come out of us when we're in those scenarios.
Wow.
If we hit our thumb and say exclamation point, question mark, pound key, that's my
That's what's it.
25 years ago, that wasn't my cussing. But when we hit our thumb and we use those cuss words, that's not going to help anybody at work. That's not going to help anybody at Walmart.
That's right.
But when we're used to saying hallelujah, people look. You can.
Wow.
We call this building a church, but we're the church. When we're at Walmart, we should have a spontaneous praise fest.
Right.
We should be able to say hallelujah and people join us.
Right.
We should be able to pray over somebody. Take the time. What is going on in the life of the person in front of you when you're checking out? Most of us don't know. This might be real technical, but the easy way to find out what's going on in someone's life is, how you doing today?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
most people will tell you.
Start spilling it out.
Some people will say, get away from me. Or growl at you. We don't have to get into their business, but we can say, God bless you anyway.
Right.
That's right.
But those that open up to us, God may be opening the door for us
Right.
to pray for them. We had the greatest gift on earth living inside of us. And we should be giving that gift to the world. And God's given us spiritual gifts. Not all of us are pastors, not all of us are apostles, not all of us are prophets. Some of us just have a simple gift of caring about other people. And we can take the time, we can pray for anybody. We need to be looking for people that need the Lord. Look for people that need emotional healing of the mind, or even physical. Some of us don't know what our spiritual gift is. But you know, when you start praying for somebody, God will start using you, and that gift will stir up. I didn't know I had a gift of healing, but I started praying for people. I didn't know I had this gift, but I started praying for people. God will reveal. He wants somebody that be available. And some of the reason we may not know our gifts is because we're not moving in any direction. We come in, we sit down, we stand up, we go home. But when we start caring about other people, when we start praying for people, when people come up, can I pray for you? Not everybody wants a prayer when they come to the altar. Well, what happens if they say, I came up here for salvation? I don't know how to lead them. Well, you know somebody that does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got 8 people up here and one pastor. Maybe they don't need to see the pastor. Maybe one of us can do it. Maybe they need to see the pastor. Well, Pastor, I have this one person that can't. I don't know how to lead them to the Lord, but I brought them to you.
Wow.
Because some people come up to the altar, wish someone to pray with me. Everybody that's willing to pray for them is busy. Half an hour goes by, or maybe even just 3 minutes goes by. Well, no one's coming to pray for me. They leave and never come back to the church. Because they didn't get their needs met. And something tells me that this is the core of the church. And it needs to be bigger. It needs to be bigger.
Would you teach?
Because when your prayer team is actually the most important part of the church. Even more important than the pastor, or if you have apostles or prophets or any of the prayer team is more important.
Jesus.
Come on.
Jesus.
One of the greatest gospel singers over decades turned his back on God living out in the world. People didn't pray for him. Many of ministers fallen. People didn't pray for him.
Somebody ain't praying for him.
Moses and the Israelites were fighting a heavy battle. As long as Moses held his hands up, they won. Started lowering his hands, they started losing.
Right.
But he had someone on the left, someone on the right. They lifted him up in prayer. They won.
Come on. That's good.
Where is the core? Yes,
Pastor
God.
needs prayer.
Yes, Lord.